Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. This is Dr. Mike Prince, and we are in the direction of a new era at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And to better explain this, we have on the line with us now the infamous coach, I should say, for Alabama State Lady Hornets, and that is Coach Penny White. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm very well. Thank you, Dr. Prince. Thanks for having me.
Well, I thank you for being a part of something where, as they say, great minds think alike, and we've been kind of bumping this thing and kicking this can down the road for a couple of years now, and I think we finally met up at the same apex where we can take it in the same direction, and we just want to take the time to present to some and introduce to others the great work that you've been doing and the great work that's being done throughout the Southwestern Athletic Conference when it comes to volleyball.
Well, thank you.
You know, now, if you don't mind, we've interviewed you a couple of times here at the Open Mic, but I got to let the people know that are listening that this project that we're working on right now couldn't even begin to get off the ground without your assistance, and I want to thank you and appreciate you so much for helping us get this project off the ground. And I'll let you introduce yourself to those who may be new or hearing you for the first time, and then we'll go into this segment on why we're here.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me. My name is Penny Lucas White. I'm the head women's volleyball coach at Alabama State University. I will be entering my 7th season this fall in 2017. I have enjoyed every moment here. We've done quite well. We're recently coming off of the conference championship where we went undefeated in year 2016 and won the SWAC championship, being my 3rd time since I've been here at Alabama State, and we're just excited to grow the sport.
Well, you're being very modest. You're batting 500 if it was baseball, heading into your 7th year with 3 championships. Those are Hall of Fame numbers in numbers over time, but I'll accept your modesty at this point. You're not a novice to this. You've been coaching for quite some time. You get an opportunity to come to the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Now, as far as you and your pedigree goes, A, what led you to the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and B, what was it like, or the reputation prior to you getting here?
What led me to the Southwestern Athletic Conference? One, I think just coming back south. I had been in Colorado Springs, Colorado for the past 15 years, 14 seasons at the Air Force Academy. As you all know, I'm originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and my parents were aging. My father is now deceased, but just trying to get back closer to home, closer to my roots. So if my mom or my brothers or siblings need me, then I'm just within hours. Coming here to Alabama State, they've never won a SWAC championship, but yet they were very, very hungry. I was received very well, trying to change your culture, change your mentality. Was not an easy task, but they received it, they embraced it, and the young ladies grew together. So it's been a wonderful transition for me. It's been a growing process, and I have truly enjoyed my time here, not just on the court, but watching my kids excel in the classroom and go on beyond volleyball. We have now one professional volleyball player who's competing over in Denmark, came from Alabama State, originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I am so proud of Amber Bennett. She was SWAC Player of the Year. Her sophomore season, she just has blossomed into a wonderful volleyball player. Then I look at some of my other players. We got one in pharmacy school, one who graduates within days. She's going to go and she's going to work for Google. How exciting is that? We have others that are in the classroom already teaching. We have some that are police officers. I am so proud of the accomplishments of these strong young women since I've been here.
Well, you talk about changing the culture. There are a lot of people who might not be familiar that much with volleyball. Colorado is almost like volleyball mecca as far as how. No, I'm being very serious. They are volleyball crazed in that area. So what was it that you were able to bring from Colorado to create a new culture at Alabama State?
You know, I think my time being in Colorado, which I had any day of the week, I wanted to go down to the Olympic Training Center and help out or just watch our national team train for the Olympics. That's an advantage, and that's something that I think living in Colorado we kind of take for granted. But I took all of that that I learned watching those coaches train these women to be able to compete on a universal level was something that I was able to bring here to Alabama State. And not only that, I love my time at the Air Force Academy and their philosophy in how we create and we build up a holistic person. I'm not just training volleyball players, but I'm also training, strong women to go out into our communities and that they excel. I brought all of everything that I learned there, and I created my own philosophy and my own way of doing things and made it who we are now at Alabama State.
Now, you've had obvious success in a rather short time when you're going this, and I know part of the frustration and part of what has spearheaded us with this project that we'll get into in just a moment is that, let's be honest, this is one of the sports that does not get the TLC that other sports would get. You have to almost kind of force the wheel to remind folks, hey, we're over here and we're doing productive things as well. How difficult was it for you to sell the concept to your program, to the young ladies that are involved?
I think that part for me was easy, and I'm not taking anything away from Alabama State. I think my journey alone, kids wanted to come and train under me. All of the relationships that I've established prior to getting here has allowed me to reach back and open doors for kids to go beyond just here and play professionally, or just open the door, hey, you really want this kid at your school to teach because she can bring this to the table. So all of the prior relationships and the accomplishments that I've made, I really try and make sure that I make that available to my athletes, to my student athletes here.
Well, you're doing a great job taking advantage of opportunities to expand that brand, if you will. That's the buzzword these days: brand. Everybody's talking about this brand. Now, we're talking with Coach Penny Lucas White, and then it's actually Pansy, right?
Oh, watch out now. Yes, I was named after my grandmother.
No, and I'm not making fun of the name at all. But we were, doing our correspondence, and I'm like, all these time I've been calling her Penny, and I see your email said Pansy. And I said, Lord, I said, have my eyes gone that bad? And I said, she's been so nice, and she never said anything or corrected me. But I just want to make sure that I wasn't fading away that fast. That's all it was. That's all it was.
Pansy is my government name.
She says the government name. I love how you go with the government name. Coach White, you've come and have literally exploded here in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. And as a result of that, we here at the Open Mic, we watch and we observe, and we take pride in doing stuff that other networks are not doing. And I approached you a couple of years ago, for some interviews, and you so graciously accepted them, and might I add, did quite well. As I began to ponder and dig a little deeper, I said, these young ladies are working just as hard as football, just as hard as basketball, just as hard as soccer, just as hard as anybody else. But yet, in the fall, and there's no disrespect because it is what it is, in the fall, it is football mania. And people don't realize that when these guys show up, for their two-a-day camps, you guys have already been in the trenches a week or two ahead of time. And when they're getting ready for a lot of their first week, you've already had a minimum of 6 to 7 games already under your belt. So when you get this opportunity and this idea came up, I say, we're going for it. And when I guess did my elevator pitch to you, you were like, let's do this. And I'm talking about we're excited to be presenting an all volleyball format radio show that's going to involve the Southwestern Athletic Conference coaches calling in with weekly reports. We even got some of the local and regional high schools involved and some junior colleges involved. And we're working on tying some loose ends with the MEAC. I first thank you, but what does this do and bring to the table for your program and the conference as a whole?
Oh, my goodness. The buzzword you said, it brands us. It gives volleyball a brand. It gives credibility to the work that our young ladies put in. And you, I can't thank you enough for wanting to help us elevate these young ladies and all the work that all of my colleagues put in across the Southwestern Athletic Conference. We all get up, and we're all hitting it hard at 5 a.m. The kids report around 5:30, 5:45, and they're in the training rooms. All of us, we're doing the same job. We take our jobs very seriously. And we can't thank you enough for being able to even willing to grow this sport, grow the brand, just recognize and validate these young women's hard work and my colleagues' hard work. Thank you.
Well, we thank you because, and we got some big plans and visions for those that are listening. The concept is a simple but yet effective concept. We'll have the coaches coming in, calling in. We got a private line set up for them to lead their reports, and we'll be doing interviews with players of the week. We're going to even try to have volleyball tips of the week, help the young ladies that try to get involved into the next level of collegiate volleyball. And we're going to try to be the full gamut. We want to be that go-to place for volleyball, in particular Southwestern Athletic Conference volleyball news. Now, I got a question I want to ask you, and I've been grinding an axe for a little while now, and I know the importance, but then I can see how people are being taken advantage of through trying to help their children, and that is the select sports, i.e., in your case, select volleyball, select baseball, AAU basketball. I know there are some pros to it, but there are also just as many cons, if not more cons, to how people are literally being scammed, promising these young ladies a future when really they just got to stay and grind. But I'll let you, with you being the expert, explain or give your viewpoint on how you see select volleyball today.
Well, I think when you say select volleyball, I think you mean travel volleyball.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's where I find a lot of my athletes is at those big tournaments and qualifiers, whether they fall under the umbrella of USA Volleyball or JVA Volleyball, AAU Volleyball, so to speak, because we can go to one venue and they have over 100 courts going. I can not only find a kid for 2017, I can find a kid for 2020. And that's the wonderful thing about having club volleyball. I myself have my own club volleyball program, and the reason why I started my program is because I had a daughter who played volleyball, and I wanted to train my child. And so I just didn't want anybody, I think, training her. I wanted a qualified coach training her. So I think with that being said, I think parents need to make sure they look into the resume of who's coaching their kids. Do I think it's a good thing? I do. Because of technology now, even if you're at a venue and I can't be there, sometimes you can watch it live, via the different internet connections we have going on now. I know when they had something going on at the Olympic Training Center, I'm able to get on and watch all those collegiate athletes train. Their technology has gotten so fast, and your kids can compete. You're not only now competing against all the kids in America, these kids are now competing against all the international kids, too, who are also getting scholarships. So I think it's a good thing. Do I think they should be paying an arm and a leg and believing coaches, I can get your daughter this? No, I think there's a process. I think parents have to buy in. They have to get invested into what their kids are doing. You can easily go on the NC2A website and figure out what your kid needs to do to become recruited. There are so many different tools that you can be a part of the process in helping your kids be recruited and not depend on coaches at their word, but you can be an ally and walk your kids through it. I think it's a great tool. I think within reason, and I think it needs to be affordable. I think in anything that we do, we want to invest in our kids to make sure that, they're playing at the best venue, being trained by the best credible coaches, and one thing, and above all, that they're safe. That these
Absolutely.
coaches have integrity and have ethics, and that they're safe.
Absolutely.
That being said, I think that's the way to go. I know not only I have my own travel volleyball program, so does Rose Powell at Alabama A&M, and she's been having one for years and have put out great athletes that have gone on and played at University of Hawaii, who have gone and played professionally. And that's what we're supposed to be doing with this venue, not making money, not trying to become rich, but trying to open doors of opportunity for these young women.
Well, and that's why the head scratcher comes to me. I'm an old baseball player, and I'm seeing these select teams and guys who never even played past my level out here and literally making their living off of selling people and parents in particular dreams. Who does not want to see their child be successful, get a scholarship? And another thing that people need to understand this era in the 21st century, a scholarship is not what it was when I came up.
Yes,
you know,
you're correct.
You know, because everybody thinks that their child should get a full ride, and even the full rides are not full rides on some of your Power 5 schools because of the way of economics have changed and the way the NCAA has, if you allow me to say it this way, watered down scholarships to try to create the parity so it won't be so obsolete. But we do know that there are some other things, hidden factors, that's a whole nother show. When you see a parent, what would be some of the top things that you would recommend for a parent to look for a program to get their child involved in, when it comes, in your case, club ball?
I think one is that the program needs to have some core values and philosophy. And, you know, I think all programs need to stand on those core values and live by those core values. Don't just listen to words, watch their actions. I think before you even sign her up to play in a program, go watch a couple practices, you know, not just on that top court. Go watch on the lowest court, maybe the less skilled players. Are they putting qualified coaches on the less skilled court as they are on the top skilled court? I think that's important for parents to know. Watch how they interact. See if the kids like it. If your kid come home excited about volleyball, then that's something you want to invest in. If your kid come home dreading to go to practice, you need to look into that. That's really important. Now, I'm not saying, and we all know our kids, we need to know if our kids has a propensity to be a little lazy, or we need to know if our kids is genuine and you know she doesn't really exaggerate, then that's how you measure if this is something your kids should be involved in. Another thing I like to say, also parents need to make sure that they don't burn their kids out too early, because what happens is when you start them so early and all they do is play a sport year-round, I think what happens is that they become burnt out. Number two, I don't think kids should play only one sport. I think kids should be multi-sport faceted. And the reason why I say that is because I told my daughter, we're going to let a sport choose her, not her choose the sport. So she played basketball, volleyball, and she ran track. And she excelled in all three. But it was volleyball that came knocking at the door and offered a scholarship. So that way volleyball chose her, not her choosing a sport. So to tell a kid what doesn't look like you're going to grow, I think you should do this. We can't determine whether or not a kid's going to grow. They may have late growth spurts or whatever. We need to let them play different sports and see where their passions are and then go from there.
Well, we're talking with the ever so wise Coach Penny Lucas White. We won't call her by her government name. And she's the leading lady, if you would, for the Alabama State Hornets, as the Hornets have won 3 of the last 7. Well, actually 6.
Well, we won 3 of the last 4.
Yeah, 3 of the last. Well, I'm just talking the 6 years that you've been in the front run. That's what I was, So as I made mention earlier, batting 500, getting ready for the 2017 campaign, and Coach, it is always fun to win, but it's even more fun if you understand and appreciate competition, being the hunted and not the hunter. And so how are you making your preparations for this campaign coming up this season?
Well, that's the same thing, because everything that we've done prior to this point is history. That's exactly what it is. It's over and done with. It's forgotten. It's a new team, new day. We start over. You can't rely on past performances. It's over. So here we go. We start all over again. Starting all over again and locked and loaded and ready to make it happen. And we are excited to be here to have it happen with you and the rest of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. We'll be actually featuring the show on Thursdays at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We're still determining on what time we'll have it. It will be a pre-recorded show, but it's going to be an updated show each and every week. And, Coach, we're excited, and thank you so much for helping spearhead this and help pull things together. I call you the volleyball ambassador. Thank you so much, Dr. Prince. Well, Coach Penny White of the Alabama State Lady Hornets, and you'll hear from her and her comrades each and every week coming up in August of 2017 right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Coach, anything you want to share before we shut this segment down? No, sir. You've been very, very gracious. I thank you. Well, we thank you, and we look forward to the continued growth and the development of what I'm calling a friendship or brotherhood, sisterhood. That's wonderful. All right. Coach Penny White of the Lady Hornets of Alabama State. We'll pause for the calls, and we'll be back. You're listening to the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.